So I could go split to open gunting to lap on the open side. Go, coming through, right? So when we run this, you know what? I'll block it for you next time. How about that? So the next time we play with this and we're coming through.
Shall we start off?
All right, so looking at these concepts now, using the lift. And so before we talked about just coming around and just hitting the open, which basically gives us our hoop bud base, yes. And the next version after that, we looked at just cutting right through and coming in, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna address what happens when you do that cut through motion. If you look at number 6 on your sheet, the first one that happens is it's in black because it stops everything. So he just blocks it. If he just blocks that, then we would have to retract. Or the other option would be if it's a cruddy block. If it's a cruddy block, you push right through it anyways. Right? Ugh. And so that's the first option, is what if it's a cruddy block? Rather than just training yourself to stop just because you feel contact. Does that make sense? Okay. Our next one is easy. Our next one is going to fall back on stuff that you're familiar with. So we're going to look at the concept of double pock, right? So this idea is I'm hand on the outside, I run my lift, as soon as I stop this comes in. And I'm still going to travel through here now so I can come back and do my feet, okay? If I stop it, he double pocks through. So we have this, our lift. Yeah, there you go. There we go, coming through, right? So when we run this, you know what? I'll block it for you next time. How about that? So the next time we play with this and we're coming through.
Shall we start off?
Right. So we've got this version going on, right? Second version that we have going on is just for it to come to the lop now. Just pull that. Right? So we know this when we're talking about crossing that center line, yes? Let me see if I can block one for you here. There you go. Too busy talking. Just pay attention. So everybody just understands the lap variation? Yes, no? Okay. So this is why this is important, to make sure we're actually coming in through. Because if we're not actually coming in through with that first shot, meaning coming in through with this initial one, he never learns how to give us any kind of energy with his defense. Does that make sense? So once we understand that, the third one we're going to put on is we're going to go lap, but we're going to go lap to an open strike. Okay, so when I go here now, I'm just going to open that up instead. Okay, so instead of going lap and the tip staying closed and running through here before we turn and come in, now when we lap, we're going to turn open same time. Look how I keep this really tight to my own center line, so it just shoots straight in and I have that push cut right there. See that? Okay. And we're just going to retract and go back into the angle one. Would we go back into the angle one really here? Maybe. There's a lot of other better places we can definitely go when we're running this kind of stuff here. But for the sake of flow, just so we're not terminating the flow, we're just going to make our way back to the angle one so that we have that ability to keep the flow going. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So we have, and then how many variations would we have of each of these, Russ? 8. No.
4 of each times
4 of
3
each.
is 12.
Right? So we'd have just the pass version of the double pock, yes? And then we have the open gunting version of the double pock. And then we have the split version of the double pock. And then we have the split to gunting version of the double pock, right? And then we'd have all 4 of those with every variation. So we talked about using the double pock. We talked about using the lop, right? And then we also talked about using lop with the open side. So if we understand all those, then we have 4 variations of each one, right? We have a pass variation, we have an open gunting variation, we have a split variation, and then we have a split open gunting variation. So I could go split to open gunting to lop on the open side. Make sense? All right, let's try that.